Well, hello guys. I apologize for that intro. That was not even supposed to even be there. Lord, help us today. But thank you so much for being here. Welcome in. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully, today everybody's having a great Tuesday. And I apologize again for that intro starting on the wrong show. I don't know what happened, but I just want to go ahead and say hello to everybody that is here so far. The Queen of Disney has appeared again in the new year. Hello, Miss Samara. How are you? M, good day, M. Thank you so much for being here. Um, and we have a special guest today, and I'm looking forward to having a great time and getting to know a little bit about our guest today. Welcome in, Scott McNeil and Angie. So I'm going to bring our special guest with us so that we can get this whole show started, and we're going to have a great time. And hopefully, you guys get to meet one more creator that is out there that maybe you guys didn't even know existed. So, this is the whole point of bringing in new creators so that us can know that these other people are out there doing the same thing that we do. So, welcome in, David. How are you,
Good.
sir? Hello, hello. Welcome into the
Uh,
Traveling with Tinkerbell show.
well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here tonight.
How are you doing today? You're doing good?
Oh, I'm always doing good, especially when I'm not at my full-time job and more
Oh,
working on
I
my
hear
other
you.
job.
I hear you. Guys, for those of you that don't know, this is David. He's actually been a subscriber of Traveling with Tinkerbell for a little bit. So he comes and goes every so often. He actually has a YouTube channel called David Cantrell. So you can look for him there. He's a travel agent. David, give us a little bit. How long have you been doing the travel agent part of it?
Well, I started it kind of started a couple of years ago, but it kind of last year the last year and a half, let's just say, story short, I lost two parents in a house, so I haven't really been able to focus on doing the travel agent thing because I've been such a in a dark place. But
Right.
so right now I'm just trying to get everything back onto the things for. But yeah, so I'm still at the beginning of early stages for me, but I have been. I mean, I've had a couple of clients, and so far I've been fortunate enough that both clients have enjoyed. I've gotten good 100% reviews from both those clients. So
Well, that's
I, I'm
awesome. Hey, that's the most important thing. Um, I was looking into your channel, and just guys, to give you a little bit of information about David. He joined this specific channel, David Cantrell. Am I saying your last name right? Cantrell?
yeah, yep.
Okay. He's joined the channel on January 15th of this year. He has 53 subscribers so far. So hopefully you guys can check him out, give him a sub over there. And if you like what you see, just let him know that you're coming in from Traveling with Tinkerbell so that he can know that you guys are coming from over here. He's a friend of Traveling with Tinkerbell. So we want to make sure that, we give every person that wants to come into our show the opportunity to put their channel out there. So we have some questions for David. We're going to get to meet a little bit about David today so that you guys get to know him. And that way, every so often when he does come into the show, then you already know who he is. So, well, we already know that he's a travel agent. He has a YouTube channel. And then guess what? Samara, you're going to love David because he's actually a very high-end Disney fan. He loves Disney. David, you have a question already from Samara. What is your favorite cruise line?
God, oh, why does that question always come up?
Ah,
You know, I like I said, I've only done a couple of cruises over my lifetime. I'm working on trying to, I've had to take care of elderly parents for years, but I have done some tours on some of the cruise lines. At one point, I love Carnival for
okay.
specific reasons. I love Royal Caribbean for its big reasons, namely the Icon, which is an impressive ship in itself.
Yes,
But
it is.
after the tour that I took on MSC, I'm becoming quite fascinated with the MSC cruise line real quick. I love the ship. I got the tour of the Seascape, and I've actually done a whole show on that one, and it really is. If you've never seen the Seascape, it is a pretty nice ship.
So you went all the way to Miami to tour that ship?
Seascape is actually out of, Seascape was actually out of Port Canaveral.
Oh, it's in Port Canaveral now, because I know the Seascape. Okay, the Seascape. Are you talking about the Seascape or the Seashore?
Seascape. Seascape is now out of Port Canaveral.
Okay, so they moved it because I guess they're bringing the World America into Miami.
Yeah, because it has a twin sister, the Seaside.
Okay, yeah.
The Seaside. And I think that one was out of Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, the Seaside is in Miami right now, and the Seashore is in Port Canaveral. And I know the World America is going to be in Miami shortly here in April. Welcome in, Marco. Thank you so much for being here. So we have a couple of questions for you. So can you, give us a little bit about your channel? Tell us a little bit about your channel so that everybody can get to know you a little bit.
Well, like I said, I actually run 2 channels, so it keeps me busier than the high end of sports. One, you pretty much said it. The one channel, it says itself. It's pretty much Disney stuff. So
what is your other channel name?
The other one is, I call it actually is Cantrell Country Travelway, which is the name of my agency. But you would find it under just my strict name of David Cantrell if you look for it. And that one, I'm trying to expand everything. Doing short trips I've put everything from Tampa to the tour of the MSC to St. Augustine, which I'm a big, and I think we've kind of talked about, we talked about this a little bit, Tinkerbell, that I love traveling to historical places. So, that with my traveling channel, you're going to find a whole bunch of different things as I'm able to do it. Now that my parents have passed, I can now start working on doing some of that. So you'll see a whole bunch, and even in cruising, because I'm working on going on cruises too, because I'm ready to get back to sea.
I know, right?
I spent 7.5 years in the Navy. I love the water. I spent 20 some odd years as a lifeguard. So needless,
awesome.
Nothing more said about how much I love the water.
Samara has a question for you. She's asking, how often do you travel?
I travel to small places quite a bit, particularly. I'm not going to lie. The heavy travel part is 2.5 hours down to Orlando. And I don't think I have to tell you all who's down there with the big ears and the smile.
I know, right? Samara's like, wait a minute, I'm coming over. Okay, so I have another question for you. Okay, we already know how long your channel has been, at least for this one. It's only been here for since I think last year, right? Like a year now?
Yes, the travel had it only been for that.
Right, you've had your channel for a year, so we already know that. So what inspired you to become a YouTuber? Like what made you say, you know what, I'm going to do this?
This is going back to the original channel. I've actually been doing that for 4 years.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I don't know what made me decide to do it. I talked to, in fact, again, going back to Pete McDevitt. And if you guys love Disney, I encourage you to check out some of the Disney community. Right. There's a whole bunch of like Resort TV One. I've talked to Josh from Resort TV One, and they were both helping me at the beginning, which I started in December of 2020.
Okay.
So I just hit my 4th year anniversary this past December.
Yeah, just past December.
And I started out, and it's it was like this. I was more like on a life support system the first few months, but then like anything, it's amazing when you start finding these communities, and even in the traveling community. And like I said, I'm amazed. I'm loving with what we're doing, Tinkerbell, and what we'll be able to do in the future to help each other.
Exactly.
And it's about growing, meeting
Mhm.
friends, and everything else. And that's what the Disney community is. And that's nothing said. I've had more people that have come in to help me. In fact, I had one who would help me for a while and then step back because I got to the point where she was doing most of the work. So she said,
Right.
I'm stepping back. It forced me to take control, and then I did, and she started coming back. Now we did lose her. We actually lost this person either last year or the year before,
Oh,
which it
wow.
it did hurt my channel because she was the heart, she was the ghost of, we like to call her the ghost, because even when you didn't think she was there,
She was
before I
there.
knew it, somebody was there taking control of things real quick. Even though I was trying to remain controlled, she was there. So she
That's
was really a
awesome.
good friend. So it was just the friends that I was able to meet and bless. And we've actually got to meet a lot of these people face to face. So even
Right.
like you were talking about, you hope to meet some of these people when you're traveling
Right.
and going on these cruises. That's what we do in that community, as well as, I'm hoping I get to run into you somewhere along
Yeah.
the way,
And I know we
cruising.
will. Like right now, and I do agree with what you were saying. In the community that we are in, you have to network. You have to network with everybody and get to meet as many people from the community, even if it's a Disney community or a regular travel community, because believe it or not, guys, that's how you grow. Right now, I am praying, right, that everything goes good and that this coming weekend I get to meet Pete, but I'm in between with that with Pete. But even if I don't meet Pete face to face, I know that we have a show that is coming on in March. So we already set that up for March. And I'm thankful for David that because of David, I got to talk to Pete. But it was kind of like a little weird because when David and I were talking, Pete had already sent me an email like in November. And it was funny because him and I were, and then I talked to David, and David knows Pete, and that's how you are in the community. This is,
And
you
this
talk
is
to every. Go ahead.
this is how, if I can add on to that real quick, this
Mhm.
is how crazy connection is. Because Pete, if you ever listen to his show, he pushes out smaller channels and channels that he likes. He actually puts your channel on one of his shows. That's how I found you. And then of course, then I really found you. I have to give a shout out to EM74. He definitely highly recommended you when he did. He came into one of my travel shows, and he definitely highly recommended you. So
And I'll be honest with you, Dave,
it's
I
that
didn't even
circle. It's
know.
that circle.
And it's crazy because I didn't even know that they were even watching my channel. And I do remember because you and I had that conversation. Real quick. Hello, my beautiful Be Kind. Thank you so much for being here. Love you, girl. But I remember when I got that email and he had told me about he was going to put my channel out there. And I'm trying to figure out like, how does he know me? But I replied back to him and I say, thank you so much, for doing that for me. And weirdly so, then you and I connect, and then you're like, yeah, I know this guy. And I'm like, what? And then we started talking. And it's amazing how in this community you network with everybody and you get to know so many people. And believe it or not, like the same community helps everybody out, to put your channel out there and see if they like what you're putting out there, and then they come to check you out. So that's how we got David, and that's, just a little bit of, just to let you know that if you're ever thinking of being in YouTube, you're not by yourself. You just got to find the right community that is there for you. And, we're here for each other. We're not in a competition. Well, at least I'm not in a competition with anybody. I can help anybody that is one subscriber to who knows how many subscribers. that in my eyes is not even a thing. It's like, it's more about the person than anything else. And I'm so happy to have Dave here in our show today, so we can help him out, just the same way that he is, and his community of Disney is helping me out, which I didn't even know. And I'm so thankful to God for that. So it was really cool. So we had a question here. Samara wanted to know, when you can travel, whenever you decide to travel, do you like to book in advance or last minute?
Here's the funny thing about traveling. Anything can go. Anybody that has done any major traveling, and I've done a lot of traveling over my years up and down 75. I mean, I've been from Key West all the way up to, I grew up in Detroit. So I've gone everything from all the way from Upper Peninsula, Michigan, down to Miami, down into the Keys. The thing about traveling is, most of the time I like to plan certain things, but I leave that flexibility, because you never know what's going to happen or what's going to flow, or you may find something that when you're during your traveling, you may find something that you may want come up that you want to experience. So
Exactly.
I there's some things that, and Tinkerbell, you'll even agree to this. Anybody that's a travel agent knows this. There are some things you like, especially when it comes to Disney. There are things you have to pre-plan, especially if you have to do, like some of the restaurants on the cruise line. You actually pretty much have to book those ahead of time so that you can get into those restaurants. And that's anywhere. That's not just the cruise lines, but that's Disney, Universal. They got those restaurants where but then at the same time, you want that open there, like, ooh, can I sneak into this?
Right.
So I try to plan a little bit, but I also keep that flexibility.
Right. It's like right now with this whole commotion of Dino Land closing in Animal Kingdom. Did you see that in how many people were there just to close out that specific ride and area?
It was a good ride, but I will say one thing. I understand why they're doing it and updated, because all the other parks have been updated over the years. It has been years since Animal Kingdom and Disney. We're going to watch our P's and Q's, because Disney they have seen us go up and they've seen us come down. We have been happy and we've been ticked with what's come out of the Disney company.
Yeah. And that whatever they do decide to put in that area, it's just going to be massive. And then you're going to have the amounts of people, think about it. If we saw how many people were there to close it, could you imagine when they reopen that specific area? That's going to be insane.
Well, it is. They're putting Encanto and Indiana Jones in that area. So I can't imagine now, depending on what kind of rides are, I can't imagine what free for all is going to go on in that place.
Exactly. I agree
you're
with
going
you.
to have people, you're going to have the haters and you're going to have the lovers. So you got to take the best with the worst. So take your choice.
But you know what? At least when it comes to stuff like that, all these Disney amazing vloggers, we're going to just know everything, because they're going to be vlogging everything. Like I watch JoJo's World, Kyle Paulo. I watch Mr. Morrow, and let me tell you, these guys are on it. They are on it. It's crazy. And I saw JoJo this morning when they were closing out the area. He was there until they closed. So that was kind of cool to see something like that. And I'm like, okay, so he's, we're going to find out as time progresses what exactly, the levels of different things through them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they listen. Paging Mr. Morrow is all. I mean, he is an OG. Kylo Palo OG.
JoJo.
Tim Tracker. JoJo is one of the original. Tim Tracker is probably one of the oldest. When we say OG, we're talking about, for you guys that don't know what I mean by an OG, we mean original.
Right.
Person that has originally, when YouTube started, they're the ones that got into the early days of vlogging and vlogging
Right.
Disney and all that. So, and
Mhm.
out of respect for them, a lot of us call them the OGs because they were the original vloggers and
Right.
streamers
I know that
of the community.
if I'm not mistaken, I think JoJo started in 2019. And he was what he was a at that time he was a oh my
Cast
god, how do
member,
you, we
cast
well, he
member.
was a cast member at that time. And it was, I remember when he started his channel, and I remember till today when he announced that he was just doing a full-time vlogger, and that he was taking the leap of faith, on doing all of that. It is just amazes me how much he has grown throughout the years. It's just been crazy. And especially for those of you that don't know JoJo, I've been following a lot of these YouTubers for a while. And JoJo grew a lot more when Paula Abdul came to the park with him. That's when his channel really like exploded even more. And even then, by that time, he had already 200 and something thousand subscribers at that point in time, when Paula came in and he did a whole park thing with her. So it was really cool to see the growth of these guys throughout the years. And you have to, the love that you put out there for everybody to see, and you're pretty much exposing yourself out there to everybody. This is your life. This is what we do.
Oh yeah, and here's the advantage to some of these communities because and again I know you're just discovering this side of the Disney community, Tinkerbell. Um, Here, the thing of this is that you're going to find out a lot of the people in our community care about each other, even though,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of us that have never met face to face. There's a lot of us that may never meet face to face. But the thing is that we have helped each other. We pray for
Right.
each other. We form prayer groups off of this community. I mean,
That's
we
awesome.
obviously, I mean, if you've seen Pete and you know his medical story behind it, you would think it's a tragedy, but it's a tragedy in a way. The fact that if everybody could be like him on how he overcame, adapted, and he just cares about everybody else. He pushes
Right.
everybody out. He works hard to do what he does, but he pushes everybody else, and
Right.
that makes me better. And that, especially giving back, because there's a lot of us that for anybody that's been in Orlando or watching a lot of the, like,
Mhm.
if you like watch Corey's World, a lot of us do stuff for Give the Kids the World, which is a big organization down there
Right.
around Orlando, and it's just a special community, and
Right. It is.
every community is going to have that niche,
Right. And
whether it's
and I
small
and
or
I,
whether
I
it's big.
I'll be honest with you, Dave. I feel very honored, that I talked to Pete, because when I talked to Pete, I remember what it hit me when I was talking to him on the phone, and I think I mentioned this to you. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my God, this is like the OG guy that JoJo and Kyle were talking about years ago. It just
And
like hit me. I'm like, I couldn't believe that I was on the phone with him, and I was like, oh my God, this is the one.
we are you talking about Pete?
Yeah, I'm talking about Pete.
You are talking about what we call the Godfather. That guy. I mean, the guy. You gotta love the guy. He cares about anything. And I'll tell you what. As far as I'm concerned, if you guys love sports, go check out his sports thing. Because I'll
Oh
tell you
yeah, he
what.
has a
They,
sports
they
section
might they
too.
might as ESPN might as well fire everybody else and bring Pete on because he's just
Yeah.
awesome at
It
sports.
was
I
like,
mean,
I'll tell you a little bit about him. When I was on the phone with him, it was so funny because I guess he was in my channel, and he's like, you need to do this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you, I was trying to write stuff down as fast as he was dishing everything out. And I have done a couple things that he told me, and I could tell that it has shifted for the positive in my channel. And I'm like, I can't believe it. I said, I can't wait to actually get to meet him in person. And he sounds like an extraordinary guy. I've never met him before. This is my first time, But
You're gonna
for
love
what I
it.
can see, through other vloggers and stuff like that, everybody has so many great things to say about Pete. And I'm going to put his channel out there for you guys, just in case, so that you guys will know who we're talking about. Because it is important that you guys also check out, different channels and things like that.
Well, your people in the community have already mentioned a few that I have met. Like Samara, she mentioned that crazy Disney lady. I've met and hung out with Tanya, the crazy Disney lady. She is something tremendous in her own right.
Right.
And okay, so you know it's Samara, you know his story. Then that's awesome. I mean, you want to talk about somebody, you want to see a good story. I encourage you to go watch his video on his medical.
Okay, I put him out there for you guys, just in case if you don't know. Just click on the link and you'll be able. I'm going to actually pin it to the top as well. And if you do decide to join his channel, just let him know Traveling with Tinkerbell sent you, and David at the same time, so he know. He's a great guy, and
yeah, the one problem you get, the more you get to know him, and you know when he cares, because if he calls in and starts raiding your shows on the phone, you're in trouble, because you don't. My Friday and Saturday night shows, if you come in one night and watch how derailed they get.
I tell you, we started having a conversation. Next thing you know, you need to get this out and that, and he was like, "Just go here, go there, do this, do that," and I was trying to write it all down so I won't forget. But he told me, whenever you need anything, you got my number, you got my direct line. Just give me a call. And that's one of the cool parts about this community, the amount of love that you get, and the amount of love that you give to the community as well. To answer the question that Be Kind had for me, if I was thinking of going on a Disney cruise, not anytime soon, but I do want, the reason why I want to meet with Pete is because he's into that Disney community, and I'm trying to shift a little bit into having Disney kind of things in our vlogs. And, the way of doing that is by actually networking with the right people to help you, get these things out there. And David would agree with that.
I would agree with that. And obviously, if you can reach out to me, and
Of
I'll
course.
help you whatever I can, because again, I will tell you, as an independent travel agent, I am qualified to do Disney because I've gone through all their training for Disney.
Right.
And so I can do their cruise lines, I can do their resorts, I can do tickets. So
right.
And
it's been one of those things, because I also have the Disney training, and I do have some of Disney clients that do go on Disney, but I want to learn a little bit more. Like, I'm trying to learn more of the Disney products, and I also want to bring into the channel not only the Disney ships, but also vlog, the parks and everything that's happening whenever I can go out there, because I live down like about an hour away from it. So that's where I wanted to kind of like talk to Pete and the community and all of that to kind of gauge that information, because I've never been in the Disney community like that. So, but I know that Samara likes Disney, and in order to grow the channel, you got to bring other stuff into, your community as well to grow it. So that's what we're trying to do.
hence what I'm doing with my channel, with the travel channel, which is trying to bring in, because I mean, and we've talked about this. My main niche is I do love the domestic travel, but I do love my cruise lines, and I do love there's obviously some of the biggest things that I have on, getting old, but some of my kick the bucket list thing is to go to Antarctica, to Alaska.
Oh, that'll be great.
To Hawaii. Things I haven't been able to do yet, but those are on my to do. My bucket.
Yeah, you gotta expand and do other things out there and bring it out here, to the people, so people can see. Okay, so I have another question for you. Do you have like any type of like monthly goals or different things like that for your channel that you would like to see going, throughout this year of 2025?
Um, you know, my goal is to get my products out there, get my agency out there. I've always said this, and this is kind of, and I've said this before, and I'm not afraid to say it, that there's things that charges that travel agents do. For me right now, I'm not doing some of the things that some agents would do, just
Mm-hmm.
because my thing is I'm trying to build a client base, and the fact that I have that Disney love inside of me. So it's about making the magic for the travelers. So my big goal is to help, try to build my client base, build my agency, and build that love and community, the trust with my clients, as
Right.
well as people in the chats, hope them, to get them to discover places. Maybe they,
Right.
and help to discover things that they may not have before.
And you have a good niche if you think about it. The Disney community is not small. It's not small at all. You just gotta find the right path the right path that you need in order to maybe, because you could be probably doing these group cruises for the Disney community. And once you start building that and you get very well known, with the Disney cruise line people up there, it's gonna be like another like open door like for you.
Well, we've actually talked about maybe taking over Disney Cruise Line, but I'm not sure that would work too good, because then they might, never again are we letting these people on there, because we love to have fun, and
That'll be fun though. Welcome in, PK Adventures. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome in, Angie. I don't know if I said welcome earlier, my love, but thank you so much for being here. But I agree with you. It'll be kind of nice to meet up, do like a big Disney cruise meeting, and just meet up there and just have a great time. And because that would probably be good for you and for your business, if you think about it. If you maybe want to do something like that, maybe get with Pete and everybody in the community and maybe do like a 3-day cruise or something that we can all meet up. I think that'll be great.
and that may be something I throw out at, because Pete actually, going back to Pete for a second, they actually do a Baltimore, Maryland meetup where he lives in
Okay.
and around Baltimore, and the whole Disney community, anybody that's around, any of these channels, because there's a lot of good channels that I see, and there's a lot of good smaller channels that are growing now that are really good, that we get together, and they do it once a year. And what started as just a meetup has now grown into a full, okay, on this day we're doing this, on this day we're doing this. I mean,
But that's awesome.
on Saturday we're going to the Baltimore.
Yeah.
It started small, and this will be the 4th year that's coming up, and it's grown from small. And I think last year, they had around 75 to 80 show up.
So that's not bad.
It'll be no.
But you know
it's
what?
growing
That's
every
really
year.
good. If you think about it, Dave, that's really good, because you get to meet the community. You get to meet like all these people that you chat with all the time, and you have that connection with people. I keep telling you guys and everybody here on the comments, if you never done like a group cruise or a meetup or anything like that, I suggest you at least try it one time. You're not going to disappoint. You get to talk like the same way we're chatting right here, and you build those connections. When you have that person in front of you, it's something magical. And Pete, and I'm sorry, not Pete, Dave can probably attest to this. It's magical, because now that bond gets even better at that point in time, because you actually met the person, and it's really cool. I love meeting a lot of different people, and it's amazing.
Going back to the Disney, there's a thing that goes on that, like I said, they do. There's a channel that does called A Magical Night of Hope. It's gotten big over. In fact, they've raised, I think this year, close to 75,000. I don't know what the total was. 75,000, and it only been going for 4 years, and it's grown every year. But you're talking about meet and greets. I actually got to, for the last couple of years, we've had a couple of vloggers that have gotten, all those that have gone to the Magical Night of Hope. They got all the Disney community together on Sunday to meet in the Sunday afternoon to, say hi and meet each other and just things like that.
Right.
Well, I actually got to go this year. So you're talking about getting to meet people. Here's the thing about it. You get to know people, and the more they hang out in your chat, you get to know them. I mean, there's no
Mhm.
doubt about it. You get to know them, you get to talk to them. I mean, just as we're talking face to face
Right.
now, and we're talking with, your people in the chat, you get to know them. But the thing is, you don't get to see their face. So when you
Right.
actually get to meet them, like I did for the first time, I mean, yeah, you might see them on a stream, and I've seen a lot of them on a stream, but it's a whole different thing when you get to hug each other and talk with each other. It makes it that person now, what was personal in the streams has
Right.
now just tripled because now
Exactly.
you're face to face.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. To be honest with you, it's one that I suggest everybody at least do once in their lifetime. You will not regret it. Trust and believe. No different than Bethany was saying that she has made so many different connections in Disney cruises, and friends of hers have become friends because of the connections that you do. And I do agree with that. I agree with that at 100%. I'm all for meeting people because that connection becomes even stronger. And weirdly so, you get to travel together and, oh, you're traveling, I'm gonna go, and you want to meet in the cruise or wherever, at a park, wherever it is. Or even if they're passing by, Baltimore, and, oh, well, let me stop, or sometimes people, I say, okay, so Pete is having this in Baltimore, let me see if I can figure something out, maybe pass by there and just say hello to everybody on my way there, different little things like that. M says, everyone in regular cruise community say the same thing, what Dave said. Hello, Mr. Harlan. Welcome in, sir. Thank you so much for being here today. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow. And also, I'm trying to bring something different also to the channel. And that's the whole point of getting Dave here and then meeting, Pete and everybody else, because you got to make those connections, guys. If you're thinking of having a channel or opening a channel, already have a channel, the connections is what's going to continue to build you little by little. And just keep in
And
mind that, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say something else, and this is a warning for if you are doing. Stay away from channels that do the sub for sub thing. I didn't learn it the hard way, but I'm glad Pete forewarned me of it because I've seen channels that have done sub for sub, and I'm going to tell you it's poisoning. All I'm going to say is poison. If you do it like most of us do it. Say, look, we're not asking you to subscribe.
Right.
Check out my videos. If you like what you see, then hit the subscribe. So when I go on live or post a video, and that's when you get to know the people. And I'm glad Pete had helped me with that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest thing I can say when you're starting a channel.
And also, this is a tip, because actually, when I had the conversation with Pete, Dave, and correct me if what I'm about to say is wrong or something. He actually has a class. I think it's coming down in January, like towards the end of January. If you want to become a moderator at a channel and things like that, he actually has a class to teach you how to become a moderator. And weirdly so, by Pete's words, he says a lot of the vloggers that want to have moderators in their channel, they actually have to take his course before he puts them on as a moderator. That gives you the mentality of how the structure of who Pete is. And I'm going to be checking out that class when he gives it. I think it's sometime end of this month, I believe.
Yes,
And I'm going to be checking out, and I encourage everybody that is a moderator to check it out, because it teaches you a lot of stuff that you really don't know. And if you have a YouTube channel that have moderators, I suggest you go check it out, because you will learn a couple of things that you'll be like, what? I didn't even know this. And Dave, take it from here, because I know you got some stuff to say about that.
I can't say enough of it. I've been there, done that. Let me give you a funny story. Pete, this was back when I first met Pete, and I was hanging out, and I was really supporting his channels. He actually did make me a moderator. This was before they started the moderating tutorials. Well, one thing I can tell you this is avoid moderating from your cell phone, because I actually bumped people out accidentally that I didn't know I had done that. And obviously I felt bad about it, because it wasn't, I wasn't doing it. But that was one of those things that I learned the hard way. And I can tell you that that's what that class is all about. He is taking a lot of the moderators that have been moderating for other channels over the years, and he created a team that has created this moderating thing. And you're right, Tinkerbell. Whether you're a moderator or whether you're a channel owner, both should go check this class out, because you may not use everything they say, but I can guarantee you may pick up something, or it may reinforce something that you may already know or may not know.
Right. I'm looking at his channel. If you see me looking this side, is that I'm looking at Pete's channel to see when that date is going to be. Hello, Will G. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm looking to see what date, but I know he says something towards the end of the month. If I find it, I'll put it out there tomorrow on the Across the Wave, because he's scheduled all throughout the year. It's weird how he does his stuff. He's already scheduled everything throughout the whole year. But if you go to
that guy's more busier than the president of the United States.
He really is.
He's got something always going. Listen, he streams. There's days where he streams from morning, especially on the weekend, when he's got baseball going, football going, and and then he actually streams some of his son's baseball things. I mean, Pete is just an amazing guy. I can't say enough about how much he cares about people, and he wants to see people succeed. And just as and I've taken that again. You were talking about where I see my channel going. I want to see it grow, as well as not only that, but my business. But then at the same time, as I'm growing, I want to be able to help people like you, Tinkerbell. And obviously by helping you, sometimes it can pay dividends back towards me.
Exactly. And that's what we do. And that's what I try to do, at least in this channel. I try to bring as many people as I can to, sometimes people don't see it, in the way that we see it, Dave. But it's like, even if it's the small channel to a bigger channel to medium, whatever it is, at the end of the day, we're all the same. It doesn't matter. The number doesn't matter. And that's what I'm trying to say. The number does not matter. What matters is the relationships that you build, and that you want to see. I want to see Dave grow, and I want to see Pete continue to grow in his channel, and so forth. And that's, to me, is the most important part, in the community, to have that community, that you're there for each other. And that if I have something, I can call Dave, or Dave can call me, whatever the case may be. And that's what we're trying to do in the community, to build it so that we can continue to grow together, and and be resourceful of everybody that in the community as well.
And that's one thing I see with the travel industry, is that things change. My sister is a real estate agent. You always see things change, rules change. That's like us in the travel industry. The only way we keep on top of things is by networking. So they'll say, do you know about this and this and this? I mean, I like that California rule about them putting the taxes in on the sales things. I did not know until that law came out. And then I think it was Carnival that first told that I actually read about that. So I'm like, okay, that actually is good, because now I can say, look, when you're talking to a client, you're now going to see the total thing, and that's including the sales taxes.
Exactly. And I think that was one of the best things that all these agents, the travel the cruise companies have ever done, that it's, because that was, as a travel agent, that was the biggest thing, because the customer's like, well, wait a minute, I see $279. Why am I now paying $500? But it was because of poor taxes and fees. And now, it's out there for everybody to see. So there's nothing hidden. If that's the price, period. That's that's it.
Exactly. I mean, even though a good travel agent's going to tell them, look, you're going to have the reason why it's going to be this so much. I actually agree with you on that. I'm glad they're showing it, because before all you could do was tell them this is why it's so much. It's the port taxes and the fees that you have to pay. You just don't see it on the overall bill. Now you do, which is
right. And to be honest, that is also hard on the agent that is working with the customer, because then they're looking at you like, how come you have that price and I got this price? And usually what I do, Dave, and I don't know if maybe you do the same thing, but if you don't, maybe this is something that might help you. I just tell them, okay, so let's go into your Expedia.com, pull it up. Okay, so this is so you see $279, continue. What else do you see? Oh, you got to pick this. Okay, pick whatever, continue. And when they go out towards the end, when they see the whole bill, I said, it matches what I'm telling you, right? So it's the same exact thing. He goes, oh, well, and now it's different, because now the cruise line, they said, you have to put everything together, because it's easier on the customer.
Well, it's easier on the customer, and now it's easier on the thing, because we don't have to complain. You don't have to sit there. And that was one of the things with one of my clients that did the cruise. I'm like, this is why this is. I mean, they understood, but they did at that point, when they did that cruise, and that was the actual first cruise I sold, they didn't do that. This didn't come out until several months after I'm like, now you do it? You could have made this easier on me several months ago.
Exactly. Have you ever had that question? And why should I pick you as my travel agent?
Fortunately, I have not had that question yet, but I know it's going to come down the room somewhere one of these days.
I will say, Dave, have something in writing. So when that question comes, you just pull it out. And I said, this is the reason why.
This is what I'm starting to put on my videos. And when I get it I'm working on my website for my business. And when I get it up, there's certain charges that an agent can do that helps boost them besides on their commissions. And it's legal. You know that as well as I do. There's the additional fees, especially if you're an independent, I don't know about Expedia, but if you're an independent travel agent like I do, working with a hosting agent, you can add a certain percentage to the commission.
No, ours is set.
I don't remember what that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the term is.
Yeah, we don't have that. Ours is already a set. We get exactly, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'm going to put this out there. If you don't know, then maybe something new that you will learn today. But whether you book with an agent, with a TA, or you book it on your own, the commission on there is already baked in. There is no, it's like we cannot charge you more or less. Everything.
Right.
So if your cruise is like $1,500, the commission is already baked in there, whether you book that cruise on your own or you booked it with a TA. The only difference that you're getting is that you're getting the knowledge that comes with that agent. That's what you're actually getting for free, guys. Free. It is free for you. And when I say it's free, and Dave can pretty much say something on this topic, because
as an independent agent,
until you don't leave on that cruise, until you don't leave on that cruise, we see $0. So if you cancel that cruise for whatever reasons might be, we get nothing out of it. We can probably help you for months and weeks at end, and we get zero commission because you canceled it. We get nothing. So technically you got all of that service for free and we got nothing. And David can probably attest to that.
That's exactly right. But then that's where, there's a certain thing that they can put a charge in as an independent charge. As an independent agent like I am, I can actually put up to a certain amount of money on the end that can help besides the commission. You're right about the
Exactly.
commission, but then as an independent agent, I can do more, which is legal. It can only be a certain amount, though. I can't remember what the
Yeah,
amount
you
is,
have up to a certain amount. Since I work for Expedia, we are not allowed to do any of that. If the customer, if you work with the customer 6, 7 months out of the year, however long it is, and in between the customer called you for whatever the reasonings are, and at the end something happened, whether medical or they just couldn't make it or whatever, you get $0. I don't get like anything like more or less. It was just done and that's it. And then once that customer travels, then you don't see your commission 30 days after that, the day he travels. So that's how an agent gets paid. But at the end of the day, guys, just keep in mind that some people, because I know that some people have different types of kind of like situations happen to them where either booking with an agent or whatever. Not all the agents are the same. I will put that out there. But if you have a really good agent, keep that agent, because that agent is not charging you more or less. It's actually the same whether you go to Royal or Carnival, whoever. That commission is going to baked in. Who gets the commission is what's the issue here. Because if you book it with Royal, Royal keeps all of that commission on their own. It's not like if all the reps work at an hourly rate.
No, and it's like I said, it's a slight difference between working for an agency and working as an independent. So, and it's not that much of a difference.
Right.
It's just on the tail end that really don't affect the client. It's just how much more that the travel agent gets. Because that's where the difference is. I don't do that.
Right.
Whatever I make. So if I'm like only making $200 off of, let's just say it was a small cruise, and it was, I only made maybe a little about $100 off of this cruise, but that's what I got. That was the percentage I got through the hosting agency, and that was it.
Right. David, give me a little bit. Harlan, try to get out completely and log back in to see if the sound, if it gets fixed. Thank you for letting me know, because sometimes it might be that you need to log off and then come back in. But yeah, guys, that's something that a lot of people don't know. Like David, he actually has his own, he's his own independent contractor. I'm an own independent, but I actually under the Expedia umbrella, which is different. Like I don't pay the fees that David might pay. I don't pay that. And I don't charge, extra. Like I don't have like a fee that I said, okay, well, $50 is what it's going to be. So the day that you cancel, I'm keeping $50 or $100, whatever it is. I don't do that to any of my customers. And if you don't know this, guys, and I don't know about you, Dave, if you're booking a flight, if you book an independent flight outside of the cruise line, you don't get any commission out of that flight. You have to actually bake in some sort of commission for you, because there's no commission for flights. Maybe Dave, I don't know how you do that part of it, but it's just different things that people don't know that we go through.
Right. I mean, and it depends on which. Now, for us, we have so many different suppliers. It can make a difference on whether we get a commission off the flight or not. I mean, and I usually, and this is what I would tell. Now, fortunately haven't come across it yet, but my logical thinking is this: say, look, I can book both, and I'm going to make a commission off of both a little bit. But here's the thing: you're going to save more money if I can book your cruise and book your flight through that cruise. Plus the fact, the one thing, when I first started, and I'm going to tell everybody this, and I'm sure you've told everybody this, think about getting the travel insurance, because you don't know what's going to happen. Life is too thin. At first, I was skeptical when I first became a travel agent. I'm going, I don't know if you really want these travel plans for protecting. But now, 2 years later, I'm going, seriously think about it, because you don't know if you have a death in the family, or if you get sick, or an emergency comes up, something happens, and if you got that travel plan, at least you won't lose money one way or another. You're either going to get that money back to a point, or they're going to be able to reschedule. You'll be able to reschedule and you're protected.
Right. Well, welcome in MNT and Living Heart. And I'm thankful that, it sounds a little bit better for you. But something that Margot works with us. She's part of My Expedia. Thank you so much for being here, Margot. She lives in Alaska, and she was saying, as a travel agent, she was 45 minutes with a client today, and she was waiting on hold. And that's part of the stuff that we do as a TA. You as a customer, we book for you, but then everything else we do for you. So you just call. It's like me calling Dave and say, "Hey, Dave, this is Jackie. I booked Royal Caribbean to Alaska. I'm having this issue. I need transfers." That's all I got to tell Dave. Dave will say, "Okay, well, let me get all this stuff done for you, and I'll send you, the confirmation with the transfers." The customer leaves, and Dave is the one who's calling Royal Caribbean, waiting on the line, maybe 30, 40 minutes, however long it's going to wait, and gets whatever process done.
Boy, how'd you know that's what happened with Carnival? I spent at least waiting 30 minutes to talk to Carnival. It might have been a little less than that. It might have been
exactly,
a little
but that's what we do.
I was on there for 15, 20 minutes waiting to talk to somebody.
Well, do you remember? Well, I don't know. I've been a TA since like the beginning after the pandemic. And the phones, guys, was like an hour, 2-hour hold. Because remember, back then it was rebooking and rebooking and cancel and rebook and cancel and rebook and cancel and rebook. So you were literally you spent your whole entire day on hold. On hold.
I missed all that. Thank goodness. I didn't start until after the pandemic, so I missed all that stuff. I cannot imagine what the TAs went through with all that when all of a sudden all the cruise lines had to get shut down.
And I tell you, like, we as travel agents, we come with so much knowledge. Like, we have so much knowledge. I could tell you about any cruise. I could tell you exactly what the cruise looks like inside. I could tell you what, the activities that it have, shore excursions, it's just a massive amount of things that, that we have knowledge on that you guys will probably never even think of. And, I even help customers, Dave. I don't know if you're new to the travel agent, but I have Zoom meetings with my customers. I actually, when they're newbies to a cruise, I actually help them check in so that they can know how to check in, what to expect, how to get a boarding pass, how to get the luggage tags, walk them through all of those processes. And technically, guys, a TA, a lot of people don't even do that. And I'm being super honest with you. A lot of people don't do that, but you have to take the time with that client and walk them through so that they can understand and have you don't want to have a situation where your client is in the middle of who knows where, has no idea what to do, because I've had that situation happen one time. And it was not that I booked the customer. It was another agent booked the customer, and he was calling me because it was a friend of one of my clients gave him my number, and he was trying to get on an MSC cruise out of Orlando, and it was 3:00 in the afternoon, and he was driving there. I'm like, what are you doing? You were supposed to already have been there. He goes, yeah, but I could see the cruise. And I said, yeah, you could see the cruise, but you're not going to be able to get in. Oh, no, that's not. And he got there. Everything was locked. He lost his money. He lost everything. But that goes to show you that, you have to have not everybody's is meant to be a TA. You have to have that whole situation that you're dealing with single individuals, and you got to make sure that you have to be professional and give them all the information that they need in order for that first cruise to go flawless for them.
Yeah. And the fact is, if not all the I'm going to tell you straight up, every TA is not going to have every answer, but one thing that they better know how to do is, if they can't get the answer, they better know where to get the answer. Right. Because a lot of this, and here's the other thing, with a TA, sometimes, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to book trips on your own, but with TAs, sometimes it's a little bit better for the TAs to be able to go through the TA portals to book all this. And you were talking about a Zoom call. That's exactly what I did from day one, and that's what I do. That's what I plan on doing with all my a Zoom call, and it ends with 2 weeks after they get back from a trip. I send an email to make sure, and then so often I find out how they're doing down the road.
Exactly, because you also want to talk to the customer, and see how did it go, especially the newbies. I don't tend to, I usually at the beginning I used to call everybody, but now I call all of my the people that are going in new that never traveled before. I call them, hey, how did it go? This, that, the other. And some of my clients, depending on what itinerary they're doing, out of curiosity, I want to know, well, how did it go? What did you guys learn? What did you guys do? Like, what did you see? And things like that, because it's the knowledge that you get. And weirdly so, Dave, within your years, as you go in through travel, you're going to have some customers that are going to give you pointers. They're going to give you, hey, if you ever have a customer is going to go to St. Thomas, tell them to go check these people out. Here's the information. They were great. And that's how you build, all of this other stuff for your clients, because these excursions cost a lot of money, but if you have these customers that are doing excursions outside and everything went really good, then you might want to, provide that. But keep in mind, always provide it to the people that are seasoned cruisers, not the newbies, because you don't want an issue coming out at you.
No, you don't. I mean, I always tell them, I say, if you're looking to do your first cruise, honestly, I'm going to say for a new cruiser, I always tell them, look, do a 4 to 5 days. Okay. That way you can get used to everything. And I tell them straight up, don't try to do everything because there's too much on board. Right. Discover what you want to really, truly do, explore it. And then when you're ready to book the next cruise and tell them, look, if you're ready to book the next cruise before the end of that cruise, go talk to them, because I know for a fact for us TAs, if we got clients that go back and book with them, a lot of these cruises are now going to the point where if they booked with the original TA, that TA, and they give them the name, that TA actually gets the commission off of their second cruise. Right. So, which, so it makes a big difference. That's, so for me, I tell them, look.
Definitely. I always tell everybody, go to your next cruise desk, purchase those certificate from them, get that free onboard credit, make sure you book within the next, 60 days and things like that. It's just amazing. Yes, you really need to interview your client to find out what they want out of their cruise. I agree with you, Margot, at 100%. And especially when they're traveling with children, or they're traveling with parents that are older, that are in the first time cruising, you got to know everything, because not every cruise is meant to be for everybody. Correct. And that's another thing, you got to make sure you put them in the right cruise so that they can have the great time of their life.
Here's the thing. It's not just the cruises. That's going to national parks. Mm-hmm. That is going to like Gatlinburg. That's like going to, Disney World, and Margot said it best. You have to learn about your customers, because sometimes, and I've had a couple of people that have come to me and talked to me and say, look, this is what we want to do. We have a kind of they kind of have an idea of what their itinerary is. Mm-hmm. And if that's what they want, I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to make it easier for them to book it and try to get it for them and say, look, we need to book this ahead of time so that you can get the spot if that's truly what you want to do. But if they don't know what they want to do, then I sit down and say, look, let me research, set it all up. Mm-hmm. And let me show you different packages that you can do that best matches what you're seeking.
They're asking which thumbnail is David. Let me.
It depends on which one you're seeing him. If you're seeing a guy with
a hat, hold on.
What do you call those hats? The old gangster hat. I can't think of the.
Hold on.
I can't think of the term for it.
If I can copy.
Yeah, if one looks like a superhero, that's my Disney Channel. If you see another one with a goatee and a hat, then that would be the one with
Right.
that would be the traveling one.
So I put the traveling one in
Thank
there.
you, Harlan. Fedora. I could not think of it. That's what I was trying to think of, the fedora. All I knew it was started with an F, and I couldn't. I'm like, what is that? Now the one time, that's that old age.
Now I gotta find your
starting.
other channel so that I can also put it on here. Hold on, because I know you have one that has a superhero on it.
Yes. Yeah.
But I put
Yeah.
the one for right now on there. Let me see. Is it this
That's
one?
the one that. Yes, that's the travel one.
And then, yeah, that's the travel one.
And then if you really want to see some crazy Disney-ness stuff, come to my channel. Here's the thing. And you know, while you're doing this, I'm going to talk about Pete for a little bit.
Go ahead and do. I'm looking for your other channel.
Pete, Pete's been doing this for a long time. Okay. And he started something called the Disney YouTube Recognition Series for Disney creators, moderators, and people that are involved with the chats. And it's kind of it's not a big thing, but it is kind of an honor, when you're people from the community get to vote these people in. And honestly, it means a lot. And when you're getting to that point, and like I said, the biggest and you're talking about Pete. My biggest thing is when Pete calls into your show and stirs up, I won't say trouble, but when he starts to get the streams derailed, you're on the good footing because he's calling in and he likes you and he believes in what you're doing and he knows you're working.
Right. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's probably more of a brown. It might look black in the picture because the picture ain't the best one. Sometimes sometimes the phone cameras don't work the best. Trust me, some of my pictures that I've taken over years, I look like a prison.
David, put the Disney one. Can you type it on in the comments? Your Disney channel out there. Put it in the comments there so that everybody, because I can't. There's so many of them here, and I can't find the other one that you're talking about.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
You're very popular out here. There's a whole bunch of channels with your name.
Well, there's a whole bunch of. Listen, if you type David Cantrell on the internet, see just how many are in the. Just see how many you'll find out in the. Go ahead and see how many people.
It's crazy how many there are. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys are enjoying today. I just wanted to bring Dave so that you guys can enjoy and get to meet somebody new. And I especially remember talking to Dave and to Pete, and I thought about the Queen of Disney, that she loves so much Disney stuff. So Samara, this goes out to you, girl, because I thought about you. And Bethany is my other Disney fan. And I'm like, okay, I need to bring a little bit more Disney into the channel. So that's when
I don't know if
they had reached out.
I hope it came through. I don't know. I just put it into the chat. I don't know if it'll allow it or go through because I'm not a mod, but
what is it called? What is your channel called?
It's actually called Dave's Disney Dreams. I actually am going through a reboot on that channel right now.
Okay. Let me see if I could find it. Oh, here it is. Okay. I found you.
Yep. I'm the one that
I knew I've
like
seen it
AI.
before.
Yes, I look like the AI. I don't know what it looks like. But... yeah, you know what? I'm getting tired of people cloning me. There can only be so many wannabes.
Exactly.
This world would not survive if there was too many of them.
Oh my God. Hold on, guys, because I'm trying to grab his information here. And for some odd reason, it's not letting me. Hold on. Lord help us. Okay, hold on. I'm going to type it in www.youtube.com/at Dave's Disney Dreams.
There you go. That's it.
Okay, there you guys have it.
I will only warn you on this. If you ever come in on my shenanigans on Friday nights or the cafe chat, y'all better hold on to a roller coaster, because if I get P and some of the other people in the community in there, it really gets off the wall.
Right?
I will say this. If you like adult entertainment, hang out after midnight, and I guarantee you'll see it.
Well, Dave, I'm gonna have to let you go today. I have to go pick up my daughter from I think it's called jiu-jitsu class. Maybe I said it wrong. But thank you so much, Dave, for spending an hour and almost 15 minutes here with us and traveling with Tinkerbell.
Awesome.
And whenever you want to come back, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to have you.
I'm glad I can come back anytime you want me. And don't forget, remember, guys, you guys that support her here, please come over to my channel,
That's
the
right.
Traveler channel, on Thursday, because now I get to reverse the roles and I get to ask questions of Tinkerbell.
I know.
So maybe,
I will be
maybe I can learn some things off of her as a TA that'll help me. Well,
this
hopefully
Thursday,
I can learn some things that'll help me. So
yeah, this Thursday at 6 p.m., I will be joining Dave in his channel. So you guys can come along on Thursday and check us out. And we're going to be with Dave, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy today's live stream and maybe learn a little bit about, not only Dave, but also about the travel industry and things like that. And I'm sure this is not the first time we're going to, the last time we're going to see Dave. We're going to see Dave a whole lot more, and possibly a lot more people from the Disney community as well coming into here, or us being invited to one of their channels, which I will be in Pete's channel sometime March 20 something. So we'll keep you posted on that. But thank you, Dave, so much for being here with me today and for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And with that being said, thank you all for being here. I love you guys all to the moon and back. And I will see you guys tomorrow in Across the Wave at 8 p.m. in the port of St. Lucia. Don't miss out. I see you guys later. Love you. Toodaloos. Toodles. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.